Another kind of a lead in here is one of the things I'm noticing just in your delivery here is that you're pretty good at teaching this stuff. And you've mentioned to me recently, Andrew, that you're feeling more and more, I don't know if it was confident, but more ready to start diving into more of a leadership role. Are you willing to speak on that at all?
Yeah, well, I guess before I thought I have to have this amazing track record and be in really good shape and have a certain amount of money and have a house and have a bunch of things to be able to help anyone. Otherwise, people would say, who's this guy? By what authority do you speak? But I've just been thinking as you were asking that, is that a lot of the people that I listen to that would be people who say, like, look, don't listen to what I say. And it's not important who it's coming from. Like, don't look at my vices and where I failed. Just really examine what I'm saying. And I do think I have a talent for being able to teach things in a certain way. Like I've developed that through coaching rugby, and I taught a little bit overseas where there was a language barrier and had to find different ways to get around that. And I think I can just, I think I am feeling more confident in my ability to pass on what I've been learning and make it, I guess, a bit more bite-sized, turning that meat into milk, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if I may offer an observation without being too personal about it, but what from sorting myself out, which tended to be, although it was like one of my favorite channels, it tended to be more self-humiliating at times, it seems like, which is kind of the reason you stepped away from it. I wonder if there's more of a future in that channel for more wisdom sharing, just as an opportunity or a possibility. Does that land for you in any way, or is that way off what I'm saying?
No, that lands. Like I'm planning on putting out a video. It's been a while, but on January 1st, and I still have all these ideas floating around of what I want to express. But yeah, I'm going to get away from saying, here's how I failed, and just focusing in a certain way. And I think that it got to that point by at first opening up and just getting a reaction from people and being upfront and honest, and got to a point of just oversharing because of maybe like, I don't want to compare myself to Hitler, but the way that Hitler would say certain things and it would get a certain reaction from the crowd, and then that it would be this sharing back and forth. And I found that happening to myself. And I want to just, Mercury mentioned Alan Moore earlier, and a quote of his that resonated with me and that I should think of is that if the audience knew what they wanted, they wouldn't be the audience. So I want to get away from thinking of, oh, this is YouTube, and is this going to be advertiser friendly, and am I trying to make this 15 minutes and use keywords and just because part of it was thinking, oh, like there's money involved, and I'm just going to use this more as just something I'm doing and not think of those other things that led me to that point. And I hope that makes sense.
No, and I'm excited. Go ahead, Mercury.
I had noticed the same change in him that, like you were saying, you saw. And what it seemed to me was that for a long time with the channel, Andrew, and I could be totally off, but this is just sort of, and like I've said this to him, it seems like at many points he was very attached to the goal. And so it was always like, fuck, he seemed to be chasing something that would just validate him. Like the way even just he said, how he would think, by what right do I have to speak and all of that. And what I've noticed in him recently and as well was he seems more ready to just move on and teach people. And at least just a small part of it that I see is that he seems a little less attached to some sort of achievement or outside improvement to validate him. and he seems a bit more, so as opposed to chasing a goal, he seems a bit more okay with his now. And I think just that shift of being less focused on a goal and an achievement and paying more attention to the way he is now has made him self-accepting enough to be ready to help, like to be more outwardly focused on helping people.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, you've kind of stepped into your own authority.
I think for a while the channel offered him a certain feedback to stay focused. And I mean, it's great. Like he's developed skills on working schedules and work. Like it was all great progress. But at one point it was like he was so wrapped up in that and getting so much feedback that if someone commented to him, you said you were going to do this and didn't, like it would hit him hard and just suck all the energy out of him. Because it would just pull him right back to, I'm not good enough, I didn't achieve this. Whereas he's a bit more centered in his now, and like Andrew's great. So if he can be centered in his now, he should be able to, and there's ups and downs to life, but yeah, he should feel good about himself if he's really just sitting in himself, even with his problems. Like even at a bad moment, it's okay to have bad moments. Overall, he's still a great person. And so I think it's just that over focus on goals and outside achievement to be good enough.
Right. Yeah.
That was
well, for most of my life before making this channel, I'd always wanted to become something and thought that I'd have my happiness in the future once I make it. And that idea of whatever that thing was had changed many times. But I've moved away from thinking that I need to become something and that I'll become happy one day by accomplishing certain things. And where I still am addressing my personality and have paid more attention to where it has transformed. Like I feel I don't know if I can say I've fully integrated the shadow, but I see the monster inside of me and I'm able to use it. Where I think before I felt I hated to be disagreeable, and then it would build up into the points where I would have these outbursts and it would just be overly aggressive, where now I can just let it out when it's needed. And that those different character types of one thinking I'm okay, you're okay, or I'm not okay, but you're okay, and so on, that I feel I can shift in and out of those now. And that I know it sounds cheesy and oversaid, but not, and also Mercury, your wife had said this to me, that there's no way to happiness. Happiness is the way.